All right, so for this video, I just wanted to sort of go over just like a quick overview of like what the soul trap is, because like I really think that this is like an important subject for people to be aware of and to know about, right? And so if you don't know what the soul trap is, if you don't know what the reincarnation trap is, it's basically this idea that reincarnation and like this entire this realm, this Earth, this planet is actually some sort of like a trap or some sort of a farm, basically, and so basically like how it works is that basically you incarnate here and then you go through a bunch of trauma and suffering, and like you have like a bunch of like bad experiences like lots of people, right? And what this does is that it generates like basically human suffering, right? Like war, disease, famine, or like that, like natural disasters, like that sort of thing, right? If like that generates a psychic energy called loosh, I believe it's called, which basically means that like the energy of human suffering generates an energy that's nourishing to demonic entities in the unseen realms, right? And that's very much like a whole Matrix thing, where it's like, oh my gosh, like human beings are being converted into batteries, right? But there's more layers to this than you might think, because this goes into like reincarnation, right? Because because after you go through like a mostly shitty lifetime, right? I mean, some lifetimes are more shitty than others, but after you go through a relatively shitty lifetime, what happens is you die, you leave the body, and what you encounter basically are entities that will try to convince you to go into some tunnel of light, right? Like whether it's like deceased loved ones or spirit guides or guardian angels or like whatever religious figure it is. It's like all of it's like AI generated by the system basically. But what they're trying to do is they're trying to get you to go into the tunnel of light, and then at the other side they have this whole like life review thing where basically what they do is they amplify. And if you look at near death experiences and stuff like that, they amplify the negative aspects. They say, oh, you did this wrong and you did that wrong, and they have like all this finger pointing stuff, and they point at you and they say you should be ashamed of this, and you did this, and you kicked a puppy when you were 3, and you need to pay back your karma, you need to learn lessons, and you need to go back to complete a soul mission or whatever, right? Like they amplify all this guilt, and it's almost like what they do is they try to gaslight you into reincarnating, and to generate more of that energy, more of that loosh that I talked about earlier. And I think, and that's basically what the concept of the soul trap is. That you like is that as sovereign beings, we enter this realm. We have like the memory wipe, right? It's like, okay, if we're supposed to learn lessons, why is there like why is there, if we're supposed to learn lessons, quote unquote, why is there like a memory wipe? It's like you learn your ABCs, you graduate kindergarten, and then you get your memories wiped, and you go to kindergarten again. I mean, like that doesn't make any sense, right? But basically we come into this realm, we experience a lot of trauma, pain, suffering, whatever, right? And that generates energy for the farm. And then all of the because of the fact that we tend to make a lot of mistakes, because we're like because of the memory wipe, because of the fact that we enter this world and we have no idea what the hell is going on, we do a lot of things wrong, right? And we make a lot of mistakes, and then what they do is they amplify that after you leave the body, after you go into the tunnel, after you get coerced or convinced into going into the tunnel of light, because you believe in whatever religion you believe, whether it's like you believe in Jesus, Muhammad, Buddha, whatever, or maybe it's like your dead grandma, or maybe it's like like whatever it is, like that they'll make anything appear, like they'll shapeshift into anything in order to convince you to go into this sort of tunnel of light or this sort of wormhole to make you go into the life review, and then that's where they essentially just barrage you with and like gaslight you into reincarnating for to go another lifetime. Which I mean, I think we can agree that this place really isn't that much. It's not fun compared to the astral plane where you can like fly and like have superpowers. It's not definitely not as fun as the prime reality that's outside of this sort of simulated reality. But yeah, oh my gosh, wanted to talk about something else. Oh yeah, like I wanted to talk about like escaping the soul trap, basically. Because so now that we know that, oh, okay, reincarnation is a trap. Like human suffering generates energy for these these psychic vampires in the unseen realm, in the astral plane, right? So so with this information, right, then we can sort of it's almost like, okay, like how do we escape? What's the solution? And like that, like my sort of escape plan, or like my solution is to basically just like do like a whole Doctor Strange thing. Like, I'm just gonna create a portal and get out of here. I'm gonna do my Green Lantern thing, basically. Like basically, I mean, like, and that's really like the power that we have. And they try to convince you that, that there's all these rules and regulations, and you have to go through this and you have to go through that. Like, but you actually don't, because like that's the power of our divine spark. That's the power of our divine sovereignty. Is that we have, like, I mean, the human imagination is like super fucking powerful, like, and the human intentionality, like the intent, right, is super fucking powerful. So and I would advise, like at the time of death, right, like if you die, if you have like a fucking heart attack or something, and you leave your body, right, I think you should be sort of on guard, on alert, that if there's anything external, it's probably BS, right? So if you manifest something that's of your own design, of your own intentionality, then that's something that you can trust a hell of a lot more than, some entity in like some robe or something. And like, oh, like, and they act like, oh, okay, just because they wear a robe and that they look like Jesus or whatever, that like they're better than you, and they point at you, like, they sort of do like this finger pointing thing, and they want to convince you that like what's out there is better than what's in here, even though what's in here is better, because that's your essence, that's the knowing, right? Where does your knowledge of good and evil come from? That comes from your essence, right? And that's better than trying to logic your way through everything, because you can think about it until you're like blue in the face, right? You can think about it super super hard, but unless you have the connection to your essence, and unless you realize your power, and you realize, oh, okay, I can just use my imagination to just like create a wormhole and get out of here, because that's really how powerful we are. It sounds like a stupid easy solution, but that's because we're stupid powerful, and they want to convince you that you're not powerful and you're just a human being. But no, you're actually like infinite consciousness, right? So like that's, yeah, I mean, yeah, I mean, basically it's like, okay, it seems like we're in a soul trap. It seems like reincarnation's a trap. It seems like karma is a trap. This idea that, oh yeah, like you have to learn lessons, you have to pay back karmic debt, right? Like that's all of that seems like a scam. And the solution does seem to be, like the power of the human imagination. It does seem to be, reclaiming our divine sovereignty. And so, yeah, I mean, pretty much, yeah, we're in a soul trap, and in order to get out, just use your imagination, just create the portal, get out. Like, well, because once you leave the body, not your problem. I mean, seriously, you know. Yeah, I think that's it.